do this guy. We haven't looked at him in a while. CC, I don't know his real name. Another flat earther, anti-vaxxer, thinks COVID is a hoax. Basically, the whole package in terms of conspiracy theorists. Let's see what he has to say. This video is about, this is Merry Christmas on our flat Earth.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's December 24th, 2020. Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Let's take a look at and reflect back at the year we just had. In January, everything was hunky-dory, wasn't it? Oh, it was beautiful. Lots of fun.
I'm concerned because I guess I was just thinking about this. This guy's a COVID denier, among other things. But also, we've seen him at his work before. He works as a transportation driver, I think for people who use wheelchairs, right? So he's basically a form of transit for people who are potentially vulnerable in terms of some of them are going to be old age people. They're going to have, how do I put this? They're going to be people who are vulnerable to COVID if they were to get it. And he's driving them around, and I'm wondering, does he wear a mask? Even if he does wear a mask, he's probably not wearing a mask in his personal life, which is probably going to expose him more likely to COVID. Ah, yikes.
We had lots of fun in January. We saw a virus that was perhaps possibly coming here. A little sidebar though. I do want to slip in a note and say, I told my significant other that it was going to hit New York and it was going to run through this country like you wouldn't believe. But nobody listened to me. Anyway, so January comes along and
Genius figures out that viruses spread quickly in cities. Give this man a medal.
Everything's hunky-dory, everybody's having a good time, taking shots, drinking, partying with a buddy. February, lockdown. March, Irish parade, done. Finished in the city. We're not having it. Didn't have it in Yonkers, didn't have it in Tarrytown, didn't have it in Scarsdale.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. You don't get to have big gatherings. It's not a good idea.
Nada.
It's the reason this has gone on for so long and it's gotten so out of hand in the US. Look at compared, like, per capita transmission rates between someplace like Japan or someplace like America, right? We're crazy bad at this because Americans are a bunch of entitled assholes who want to go around and be like, you can't tell me to wear a mask, I have freedom, and then they cough all over the groceries. It doesn't help that it became a partisan issue because of our stupid, stupid president.
God. And that's when hell began for all of us. At least also for me, too, because I was working, and I still am, twice as much as I'm doing that it should be doing. And getting paid the same pay. Oh, man. So people, you know, okay, and all right. So and then it gets progressively worse after that, you know. COVID, oh, everything COVID, deaths, cases. Everything just gets so bad.
Yeah, it's almost like the United States federal government should have done sweeping changes to either do a national lockdown or a national mask mandate, or at least communicating better with the population about what they should be doing, but instead, that didn't happen. Instead, it became a partisan issue because Donald Trump is a douche, a narcissistic douchebag. Let's see what we're up to. U.S. COVID deaths. That's always fun to check in on, isn't it? 336,000 deaths so far. Hooray! USA! 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 USA!
Scares the shit out of everybody. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this thing. Anyway, This has driver assist on it, so it like drives itself. I don't even have to put my hands on the steering wheel right now.
Oh god, no, you're really not supposed to be doing that. I don't know if he's driving, I know Tesla has something similar, but you're still supposed to have your hands on the wheel, right? You still have to be paying attention. Your car is not self-driving. Just because it can drive for a little bit, you're not supposed to not be paying attention. You're not supposed to be filming a video while you drive because you think the car's gonna be fine, especially considering it's snowing out based on what's outside of your windows, and driver assist features aren't the best when dealing with slippery roads. Ah.
That's new, because these cameras up here, whatever. Anyway, so, deaths. You know, everything. You know, anything you could possibly imagine they're throwing on the plate at such a high rate of time right now. Now it's just deaths. Not deaths, it's just cases now. No deaths. They're not talking about deaths anymore because we all know why.
They talk about deaths. What are you talking about? Again, I just looked at it. 336,000 dead people. That's terrible.
And they're just doing cases because they can make up cases left and right. It's very easy. It's just how the presidency went, you know? Same thing. But remember, they're all puppets. It doesn't make a difference who wins, you know?
That's completely contradictory. If you're buying into bullshit election fraud claims, but you also think it doesn't matter who's in power because they're all puppets, then what would the point be of faking an election? What would the point be of stealing an election if they're all secretly on the same side? Conspiracy theorists will get so tied up in knots that they will contradict themselves within the space of a single breath. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid.
He or she, or whoever it may be, because remember, we might eventually have a woman president, and as a matter of fact, I think it might be leading up to that right now. We might have one sooner than you think. What a joke. They get this guy in. I mean, really, this is going to be such a hysterical year. I can't tell you how much fun we're going to have with this year. You know, I can't. Anyway, it should be interesting, so stick around, guys. We're going to have a little fun with this, with the new presidency. How long, you want to play some bets? Let's play some bets. How long do you think he's going to last? I'm going to say 1 year. Oh, we got to get one of the numbers going. 1 point. Oh, no, you know what? No, that's too long. I'm going to say 1.3 years. That's my bet. 1.3 years, and then that's it. You know?
Honestly, it's tough to say because, I mean, Biden's really, really old, right? He's old. He's too old to be the president, in my opinion. I thought the same thing about Donald Trump. Honestly, even though I love Bernie and I voted for Bernie, he's also too old. The geriocracy we live in is kind of ridiculous. But either way, it's hard to tell because sometimes people who, you know, are old just die quite unexpectedly. But, like, Biden's going to have access to the best healthcare on the planet, and he's going to be constantly monitored. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he lasted all 4 years, but also if he died tomorrow in his sleep, it wouldn't surprise me either. He's quite old. That's the problem with having leadership that's ancient. You're going to run that risk, but either way, then Kamala will become president, and I'm sure the right wing would freak out about it, which would be a little funny. Either way, it's whatever. I don't really care. I'm not a big fan of Biden anyway.
And he might get impeached. Who knows? Who cares? It's another soap opera, and that's why I didn't vote. And that's why I'll never vote, because it's bullshit. You're wasting your time. You don't have any choices. Okay, back to what I was originally talking about. All right, so shut down in New York City. Don't worry, it's just going to be for a month. You know, maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks.
People didn't listen, which is why it didn't work. The reason that we're continually having to go into lockdown is because stupid people like you don't take any of this seriously, and you decide to go out anyway. You decide to go out without masks. You decide to go to parties. You decide to visit relatives. You become vectors for transmission, and it just elongates all of this for everyone. Other countries where this has already been under control, places like New Zealand, they're doing pretty well. Other places are doing relatively well. They got it under control. They're like getting back to normal, but the United States is still going to be a while, because at this point we're basically hinging it entirely on the vaccine, because apparently a huge piece of the American population is completely incapable of doing anything slightly inconvenient to help other people, because they're just super mad when someone suggests, hey, maybe take some precautions. Don't go outside if you don't have to. If you do have to, wear this mask. It's PPE. Doctors have been wearing them for decades and decades and decades. Just wear them occasionally. Wear them when you go outside all the time. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And then all the idiots are like, no, I'm not. It's the deep state. It's the liberty. It's frustrating. It's beyond frustrating.
Ops, wear your face mask. Don't worry, just for 6 weeks, do us a favor.
If Joe Biden gets COVID, you doubt he'll make it. Trump made it, and Trump is less healthy than Biden. Biden would also get flown to Walter Reed and got an infusion of, the antibody stuff, so I think he'd probably be fine. But again, it's hard to tell. I'm not a doctor, and also medical stuff can just go weird ways. Who knows?
One ask. Wear a mask. That's that little thing, the digital board that goes through. Yeah, you see on the highway. That's beautiful. That's the minute you get into Westchester County. It says that. Like a child. That's what you're treated like as a child. And that's what they want, because you're basically all children. You don't know anything. You don't know anything that a doctor would know. You don't have any common sense at all to know.
Doctors are telling people to wear masks, which is why you listen to experts on subjects like this. You, on the other hand, are directly going against the advice of doctors and then getting mad at other people for following the advice of doctors, while also criticize them for what you just said. Oh, you think you're as smart as doctors? No, which is why I'm listening to doctors. Why do you think you're smarter than a doctor and going against the advice of the entire medical community?
That nothing would protect you from something that is airborne and it's rampant through the sky, through the air. Nothing. And I was going to kick in and say, maybe the NASA spacesuit might work. But we've all seen the new spacesuits that are out there. They look like your common jumpsuit that you go to go jogging with. I mean, look at these pathetic things.
He's talking about the SpaceX spacesuits, which look pretty cool. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I hate Elon Musk, but I don't have a problem with the people who work at SpaceX. I think SpaceX is a cool thing. I think the spacesuits are pretty sweet, and I'm sure they took millions and millions of dollars to develop. Like, it's cool that they were able to make them look like this and still do their jobs appropriately. Now, these are not the EVA suits, so the EVA suits are still quite bulky. These are just the ones that they wear when they're actually taking off and sort of on their way to the International Space Station. But, yeah, they're cool. Saying that you think they look like jumpsuits or whatever, I think just goes to the point that they did a good job engineering them in a way that makes them look relatively natural and less bulky than previous generations of the same thing.
I think these things are fucking airtight. Good luck.
Tell you why I hate Elon. Elon is a huge piece of shit. He is a narcissist. He thinks he knows better than everyone. He bought into his own bullshit where he thinks he's like, he thinks he's a real-life Tony Stark. He thinks he's smarter than people. He's said a lot of really ridiculous things about COVID on Twitter, which spread to his followers who think he's a genius. He pretends like he's an engineer when he's not. He, again, is a billionaire, which I just find morally repugnant in the first place. On top of that, again, he takes credit for the work of the people at SpaceX and Tesla. He lies about the features of like Teslas and stuff that are coming up about like full self-driving and all sorts of stuff that's very dangerous. Lies about the Hyperloop. I don't know. He's just a big old grifter. And his family owns emerald mines in South Africa, so that's not cool either. Elon Musk is a scumbag.
Him in an airline-type locker. I want to see those new ones that SpaceX has. Put that guy in a nice air...
Oh, also union busting, and he just doesn't care for workers' rights in general. He's a big old douche.
Airtight locker and take all the air out, and let's see what happens to him. That should work. It's a spacesuit. Where is the air? Where are the tanks? You know, the thing isn't even connected to the suit, for crying out loud. Have they gotten that bad? I mean, really, have they gotten that bad where they just don't give a shit anymore? They're not hiding dick. You know, look at all the pictures. Look at all the nonsense. There's no crater mark. I mean, on the Apollo 11 picture, the light is shifting in 15 different ways. I mean, you can see multiple lights that are obviously on them. That doesn't happen with one source of light. Nothing. I get nothing from these train wrecks. Nothing. Their face just glazes over. And then when you get into flat Earth, and forget about the NASA lies. You know, I mean, why would they lie? But because the Earth is flat, that's why there is no space. But then they glaze over again. You know, and God forbid if you even bring up the diameter of the Earth, or what actually the curvature is. Then you've lost them. You know, you're going too fast. Baby steps. All right, concentrate on NASA. You know, get on NASA, and then maybe start going into the flat Earth. But first, study the pictures. You know, look at the pictures. Look at the picture of Earth. Why didn't they take one for 50 years? And they were there.
What? We have literally thousands of photos of the Earth from space. What are you talking about?
With all these rockets supposedly going up in the sky, not a single picture? Nah. Why would you?
Real pictures of Earth from space. Look at all these pictures of Earth from space. Some of them are CG, but most of them are not. Like, seriously? You could just Google pictures of Earth from space. There's one. 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 Flat Earth. You get it. Like, you can go Google this. It takes 5 seconds.
We've already seen it. You know, it's just like...
Yeah, and here's a live stream of the ISS. Oh, they're doing a spacewalk. Sweet. I wonder what they're doing. I probably wouldn't understand even if it was explained to me what they're doing, to be honest. And the funny thing is, like, they have safety wires on, right, to keep them attached to the ISS and to be able to move around easily. I would imagine a flat earther would look at this and go, look, you can see the wires! Like, yeah, the wires are not meant to be hidden. They're there for them to maneuver around the space station. Look at that. Ooh, look at that curve. That is cool.
That's right.
It's very cool.
Propaganda.
Very neat.
The most important thing in the world, you know, to everybody bouncing around over here who thinks they're living on a fucking wet ball. Should be the most important thing in the world. They should be writing letters to NASA requesting pictures once a month. A revolution with the clouds moving at the same time. Something to feed the rats. Oh man, it really is. So reminisce about this year, all right? Because it's been a disaster for everyone. And I'm going to get serious because you're talking small businesses out the window. Walmart, Kmart, all the big box stores open. Come on in. Don't worry about it. Have a cup of Starbucks. Don't worry about it.
Grocery stores are open because they're considered essential because people need groceries. Walmart also happens to be a department store, so you can get other stuff there too, but if they didn't sell groceries, they probably would be closed during, lockdowns, but they have groceries, so they're considered essential. And we can talk about, skews toward big business in, like, spending bills and lockdowns and stuff, and I would tend to agree with you on that, which is why I think the government should be giving assistance not to large corporations, but to individuals through stimulus checks, but also small businesses, and making sure they are going to actual small businesses instead of, like, Donald Trump getting some or Joel Osteen getting millions of dollars for his church, right? I would agree with you. That doesn't change the fact that businesses still need to be closed right now in many places. We probably need to do a national lockdown to really try and curb this while the vaccine is being distributed. I don't know. Whatever doctors think is the appropriate course of action. How about that?
Everything's fine.
And disease experts specifically at the CDC.
Get a cup of coffee. Everything's good in those places. But if you're a small business, once again, you're done. You're finished. And that's really how it's been for everybody this year. And now they're talking about another stimulus package. Trump is going to come in and say, okay, we're going to give them $2,000. We gave them $1,000 last time. So we're in the second lockdown, and they're hurting even more because now they're actually 100% going to lose their business. So let's give them another $1,000. And what the fuck is that going to do? Is that going to put food on the table for the restaurant owner who has 3 kids? No, it's going to do dick. And actually, the people that qualify are the only ones who, are people who are working. That makes sense. Meanwhile, all this money's going to other countries. All this money's going funding colleges. Colleges? Are you kidding me? They're not even in school, for crying out loud. They're not even paying.
Schools are still a thing. They're just often online. But even places like Michigan State University, I know they're opening in person soonish, which is not a great idea. But, schools are still operating. They're just doing it mostly online.
Teachers, what is this? I mean, has the world gone to shit overnight? It sure as hell looks like it to me. And then somebody came up to me, I had a brief conversation about politics with somebody. He's like, what we should do? We should sue all the politicians. If we're not getting paid, they don't get paid. Yeah, that's great. But the way it's set up is they always get paid. That's how it's been set up for the people who are in office. You can't touch them. They're untouchable. That's how bad it is. You see, they become too powerful, I mean, look, they're puppets. I understand that. But still, they're the ones who are telling you that you can't have people in your restaurant. You can't, you just
There are a lot of reasons to hate politicians and hate the status quo as it stands. I would agree with you for different reasons, probably. But no, you should not be having people in your restaurant right now. Sorry, I know that sucks. But no! You should not become an epicenter for the spread of a disease that is killing people, and even if it doesn't kill them, it is, like, hurting them for the rest of their life. Bad idea.
Fitted your entire restaurant. You got HEPA filters. You put a tent outside. You got a Bunsen burner, whatever the fuck that thing is, that people are huddled around in this bubble. The bubble boy. There you go. You think that's fun, going out to eat dinner, sitting in a bubble by a Bunsen furnace?
Okay, so he's not even mad about restaurants not being open. He's specifically talking about a restaurant by him which is open but is doing only outdoor dining. And restaurants, by the way, can still do takeout. I've been doing a lot of takeout. You can still go get food from restaurants. You just order it over the phone or online or do DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever.
And eating dinner, that's nice to you? No, it's bullshit. Complete nonsense. So the restaurants have done all this, and then the fire chief comes in and says, "Oh no, wait, that's a fire hazard. You can't do that anymore. We're going to shut you down again. No outdoor dining." I mean, it's just one thing after another for these restaurant owners. It's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. They are doing everything they could possibly do to make your fucking life miserable by taking every single thing away from you. And you don't even see it. And nobody sees it. They sit there in their car with their fucking face mask on, once again, still doing it. Out of their own intent. And meanwhile, everything's falling apart around them, and they don't even see it. So when's the end? When are they going to stop saying that we don't have to wear a face mask? In fact, when Biden goes into office, he says he wants 100 days. 100 days. Where does that bring us? Let's see. What does that bring us into mid-June? You're going to be sitting around in the summer again wearing a fucking face mask? Come on, my ass. If you haven't...
Did he just say June? 90 days does not bring you into June if he did that in the first week of his presidency. Can this guy not count?
Had enough of this, and you can't fucking wake up, then you're fucking lost. Lost, I tell you. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Or does he not know when the president gets sworn in? I can't tell if it's a math issue or a civics issue. It's one of the two, though.
And it's getting worse and worse. It's not getting any better. No, they came out with something made up. I don't know what it is. It's a cure. None of them ever work.
Are you talking about the vaccine? A vaccine isn't a cure, it's preventative. Do you not know what a vaccine is?
So what's going to happen then? Let's see what happens then. What are you going to do if they force you to take this? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if they force you to take this? A lot of religions don't allow it at all whatsoever. So what's going to happen to them?
What religion is anti-vaccine? There probably are. I'm just genuinely curious. I'm not sure which religions bar you from getting vaccines. I know there are some that are like anti-blood transfusion, but vaccine's a different thing. Jehovah's Witnesses? Okay. If it has blood.
Stick around.
But I don't think it does.
I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos and let me be a part of your life.
Oh, God. This guy probably does need some help. I don't think he's, like, straight up mentally ill. I just think he has, like, a personality disorder. This is a completely unprofessional opinion, by the way. Don't take any of this seriously. I just feel like he has, like, a personality disorder coupled with not being the smartest, and it's causing some negative outcomes for himself in terms of what he sees reality as, but who knows? Moving on.